I give a response, they say I'm lying. Some random anon posts some tall tale, and everybody takes it as a fact. And it's just, I mean, that again is it's just so bizarre to me, but it is what it is. But you know, we only select them from the, you know, we've been really strict actually about not allowing people to bypass the degenerate app selection process, which is a blind process. You know, and again, they're you. I mean, that's the saddest thing in all of this. Whenever I see somebody, you know, janitor moderator getting harassed, is I'm like, again, it's like, look in the fucking mirror, because these people are you. And they do it for, I mean, again, they just do it because they really, I mean, I've had a handful of people resign, you know, in the past few weeks. And again, they all say, you know, I'm really sad because I really want to serve my board and see it get better, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, I think it's time for me to resign. But again, they all really deserve a lot more thanks that they get. And you know, I don't know why you think that there were a bunch of moderators generally shitting up Q, because to the best of my knowledge, there weren't. And again, there's really no way for you to know outside of that one incident with MQR, which was an isolated incident. But you know, again, I've been very clear as the managing moderator to the mods and janitors to, you know, if they have anything negative to share, they better find a way to, you know, some therapy for that, because if it makes it into their in their volunteer work, then, you know, either they'll get fired or they should resign. So frankly, I think the moderators have actually done a pretty great job given the circumstances of a pretty, you know, thankless and, you know, kind of role and a, you know, sometimes very hostile, you know, community that again tends to kind of jump on and kind of witch hunt, you know, every time they have a name that's named. And as I said earlier, 99% of the time, you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong that it was that person doing the thing that you didn't like. And a lot of the time too, it's like, you know, people get upset about legitimate things. It's like a thread that is actually off topic gets deleted, and people, you know, the 100 people that use that thread get upset about it, but when in fact it really truly broke the rules. So again, if you have any specific examples, you're free to, you know, submit them on feedback, or I guess, you know, email them to me. But I do think that, you know, the team the last few years actually is at its best as far as you know, the culture. I mean, I've tried to and you see that in that agreement that I distributed recently and I posted on the blog, and you see that in some of my recent communications, you know, with them that have leaked. But you know, we do actually try to, again, it is a volunteer job, but, you know, it's a volunteer role. It's, you know, they do it for free, you know, haha, you know, green text for free. But you know, that's not to say that we don't take it very professionally, especially with regards to people who have, you know, again, kind of privileged access, you know, are able to see, you know, moderators, you know, janitors can't see IPs, but moderators can. And again, we've always taken that very, very, very seriously. In fact, I fired somebody, you know, in a heartbeat for, they posted a screenshot that had a user's IP in it. And I just, you know, immediately, it's something I'm friendly with. I just said, you're done. I mean, there's just, you absolutely cannot do this. So, so I, you know, I don't agree with your assessment, but I can see how, you know, you may believe that based on your limited, you know, exposure and information. I read 1264, but it's a kind of a wall of text. And again, if you're trolling, then, you know, I'll give you a 5-10. If you believe all of that, then again, I can't reason with people who are you know, this kind of divorced from reality. But I wish you the best. I truly do. Good, you know, fight that good fight. I like the image that 1312 posted his OC of crash me if you can. Yeah, Upcoming Bane film. Very nice. Is this the best new meme in recent history? Haha, great post. Well memed, my friend. That's a pretty good new meme. Why haven't you read fanfic? I've read some fanfic. Uh, 1345. Tiny white dicks with a picture of Louis C.K. What is your sexual orientation and why are you such a faggot anyway? 1350. I don't know how to answer that. What was the reason for singling out Poll, messing with the board, and encouraging other reports to rate it? 1364. I think that kind of implies that I haven't done the same thing to countless other boards over the years. Again, I think that if you had a good sense of humor about you, then it was actually fun. And at its best, I think it actually did improve the board in the long run. I check Poll. It's one of the boards I check more frequently than others, and I've actually it's at its best, it's hilarious, and at its worst, it's a head scratcher. But you know, I've certainly enjoyed my time there, except for all the off-topic nonsense. Let's see. It's an interesting question. Is can you remove specific board-specific IDs on Poll? And kind of just saying that it's problematic for anonymity. That's interesting. I think kind of point to make about the kind of anonymity that 4chan offers versus the kind of anonymity that doesn't. In that, I think if it in kind of there's kind of front end and kind of back end anonymity, and 4chan has always kind of offered people front end anonymity in that you are anonymous to your fellow users. If I post in 4chan, if I'm not using my cap code, people don't know I'm Chris Poole, or they don't know I'm Moot if I don't, or some handle if I don't choose to do that. But 4chan has always known who you are because we've always had IPs. I mean, we use them to ban you and all sorts of stuff, rate limiting and moderation, blah blah blah. But 4chan's anonymity is all on the front end. It's that unless you choose to be identified to your peers, to the other users, then people don't know who you are. And so people shout about IDs are they go against anonymity, which I mean they don't. In that, again, unless you post something else that links you to that ID, then you are still anonymous. I mean, you are anonymous to your to your fellow users, except for obviously they have some sense of what your posting history is. But again, still anonymous. And in fact, I mean, it takes a long time to even implement IDs on any boards. And Nichan for a long time, or Futaba too, actually. Both of the kind of precursors to 4chan actually. Not that they have IDs, but a handful of their boards actually show your host name, and they show your ISP. I mean, they truncate your host, but they actually show, sometimes it's the first few octets of your IP address. It's the reverse DNS, like the actual, say, your ISP, like that host name, which I think is far more invasive. And again, it is. I mean, again, these are the precursors. These are the kind of the kind of communities that we hold up as this ideal, and they've done even more kind of in-your-face ways of kind of identifying users between posts. But again, still anonymous unless you choose to say, hey, I'm Chris Poole, and this is my post, and this is my IP, and ID that is attached to it, then people don't know who you are. So I think people kind of often conflate or confuse what kind of anonymity means on 4chan and what constitutes anonymity. And again, if you have a flag, sure, like yes, people have some sense of your geographic region, but you are still anonymous to other users unless you choose to kind of forego that. And for the most part, again, I think a lot of the boards that have IDs have actually really, or flags rather, have been benefited from both.